Okay, good morning, everybody. Good morning to these impala, all of them. Hope you're all having a great morning so far. Thanks so much for joining me again here on the Africam morning show. We've started here at Naledi Dam today. These impalas have been here for, I'd say, the last 45 minutes at least. Just loving what looks like a cooler morning. They're all having a good drink out of the main water source, nice and clean. Others trying to find a gap amongst the water plants. But they're all just coming and going. Really lovely to watch. Maybe we'll get the camera to pan out a little bit and we see what else is going on. It's a really large herd of impala, and there were some running around and doing that high gait, which we've seen on some occasions. And the impalas tend to do that, where they almost bounce from their back legs to their front legs while running fast. Quite entertaining. As are these two youngsters just in front of the camera having a little sparring match. Let's just watch the scene for a bit, have a listen to the bird calls. Beautiful late morning in the bush. Lots and lots of energy. This herd of impalas, lots of babies here. They've gathered there as a group. The youngsters, those are probably about a month and a half now. Maybe some of them a bit older. They're also running around and enjoying the cool temperatures. There's a male on the right there chasing the female. It's wonderful to watch. Good spirits this morning. The woodland kingfisher in the background. Lots of sounds of the oxpeckers. I think whenever there's a slightly overcast day, slightly cooler day, I think in summer the animals really enjoy that, as it gets incredibly hot in this part of the country. I'm sure at this time of year it must average around 38 degrees. I think it's somewhere around 100 Fahrenheit. Some days getting more. A wonderful congregation of impalas. Okay, we might come back here. We'll keep an eye on Naledi Dam and see if they stick around for the whole morning. It looks like they could possibly do that. I'm going to move across to Tembe. A very different scene, but also lots going on. Beautiful group of Inyala, elephant bulls in the background. Incredibly green. They've also had really good rains. So a herd of elephants has just arrived at Katai Pan. We'll come back to Tembe. But Katai is always such a wonderful angle. Just look at that. youngster getting a bit excited there. I was hoping he'd rush up to the camera. Wow, that was a nice surprise. Let's spend a bit of time watching them. Cat-eye is actually, I would say, no more than a kilometer away from Naledi, where all those impalas are. A very productive area today. You can see the cloud cover, nice breeze blowing. Oh, bit of excitement. Oh, coming straight through the waterhole. He needs to go around. That's a big female, most likely, or possibly the matriarch. She was moving others along there. She wasn't happy about something, maybe being squashed up against the waterhole by the rest of the herd. Might have been the vehicle. Oh, here's another one, another two. Such a wonderful angle, this cat-eye camera. Just look at that. Wow. All around the camera. Just came in for a quick drink, a little mud bath, and off they go again. It's a lovely big herd. I think it's roughly about 30 elephants in this herd. When I was there at Naledi not too long ago, we saw a herd that kept coming into the waterholes. I suspect it's the same one. Do a big loop through this area. See, when it's nice and cool like this, they don't really need to spend too much time at the waterhole cooling off and drinking. I suspect they're going to go and utilize the coolness in the middle of the day to go and feed and rack up some calories and get close to their 180 kg mark of foliage per day on average per adult elephant. Good day to make up for lost time. In summer, they spend a lot of the time feeding at night because it's so hot during the midday. So this is bonus eating time. Such a wonderful sight. We'll go back to Tembe again. It's a bit calmer there today. Elephants are pretty much still in the same place. No rush. Also looks nice and cool. Slightly overcast. Wonderful bird calls in the background. Let's have a listen out. There's a lot of emerald spotted wood doves calling, as well as that gorgeous bushshrike. White-browed scrub robin also ever present call. Lots of birds this morning. Looks like a yellow-billed kite flying around. Was having a drink. Very typical raptor to be seen in these areas, especially in the summer months. As winter comes, they start to head north. But very active flyers, yellow-billed kite. They go for insects on the wing. They'll also scavenge off the ground. Every now and then, maybe grabbing a lizard or something like that. Very active, very versatile predator, bird of prey. Sounds like that wood dove is really close to the microphone. Beautiful call. Let's have a listen now to see if it calls again. Yeah, it was kind enough to go again. Such a beautiful call. I'd just like to go back to Naledi. It's quite incredible that these impala are really just can't get enough of this water source at the moment. They keep coming backwards and forwards like ants collecting sugar grains. It's quite unusual, typically a herd might come and have a drink and move off. I'm not sure if it's just because there's so many of them that they're taking turns to get to the water. That water also looks quite freshly pumped in there. It looks nice and clean. Don't think that that's playing a role in it, but it's just quite an incredible scene. You can hear the odd call of the young impalas. They might be trying to find their mothers, maybe looking for a bit of milk. At this stage, they'll be doing a bit of both, between milk and water, and grazing and browsing. They'll be fully weaned at around 6 months. But at the moment, they have the luxury of a full plate, lots to choose from. Tell you what, throw a cheetah into this mix, you'll see pandemonium. Haven't seen lions or any predators at the waterholes for a while, although I think last week a leopard came down to Naledi. Always keep an eye out for that big pride of lions that exists here at Naledi in the area. When they're all together, there's up to 27. But with so many eyes and ears around, I think it'd be really hard to catch one of these impala. Very relaxed indeed. Okay, let's go and have a look and see what's going on elsewhere. I just want to spend a bit of time at Tau, have a little look around. See if any of the ostriches have come around. Their babies, we haven't seen them. What do we have here? We have a waterbuck in the background. Some yellow-billed storks, just the heads of them sticking up above the green foliage. Looks like laughing doves or Cape turtle doves in the background. A little bit of movement. Let's see if we can get the camera to pan out and have a look around. It's always good to get an idea as to what's happening in the area. You never know what's on either side of the camera. Uh-huh. Camera went down there for a bit. It can happen. We'll keep an eye on it and see if it comes back online. Let's go across to elephants. Just want to have a look around there. It's hard to choose which is the favorite camera, but it's certainly right up there. Love looking at the flowing water. There was a huge crocodile there yesterday. Sounds like some white-fronted bee-eaters are calling. Oh, there's a bit of a sandbank showing the water levels dropped a little. Looks like the hippos have also moved on. No obvious sign of animal movement. Just a beautiful area to pan through. I want to do the same thing now at Rosie's pan. Let's just have a look and see if there's anything there before we go to some of the highlight snapshots and videos. It's also always a beautiful waterhole, lovely reflections. Today is no different. Okay, it's fine. Nobody out there at the moment, but as we know very well by now, things can change, so we'll keep a look on that. So I'd like to go to one of the highlights I found quite funny. Is this time at Kwa Pan, where this male lion is attempting to hunt. The very poor attempt. Almost feels like he's hoping that one of them will walk into him. Seems to be surprised why they're not doing that. Yeah, little sneeze there. Just a beautiful male lion, beautiful black mane going down all the way through the middle of his chest. It's also a good example of he's just trying to hunt. I mean, he's probably hungry. They can hunt, male lions, but they are really specialists in easy opportunities. But in that case, he didn't really try so hard. But when you've got prides around you that do the hunting for you, maybe there's no need for too much effort. Yeah, I thought that was quite an interesting clip. There's another one. Also in the evening, I think it was these videos were taken with full moon light. Just look how beautiful this image is. Just like to sit back and watch and listen to this elephant bull having a drink at cat eye. Such a peaceful scene, this really early morning, probably just before dawn. The frogs are still calling, bubbling casinas, some toads, crested franklins have started, white-browed scrub robin calling. Doesn't look like there's a breath of wind. And this beautiful elephant bull just sucking up loads of refreshing water, getting ready for his day. Little snack. Why not? There's one more video I'd like to share with you. Something different, just beautiful in terms of color. There's two helmeted guinea fowl having a drink. And it's just a lovely example of their bright blue heads and that helmet-like structure. These look like two males. They've obviously done, they're competing, they're happy with each other. But just look at that color. It does look quite alien-like. Beautiful spotted feathers. Very common bird, but actually always quite nice to observe. They're quite comical. And when the light is on them like this, I think quite beautiful. Okay, just going to go back to Nkoropan. Just want to see what's going on there. And then we'll finish off the show with some of the highlight snapshots. There's a grey go-away bird calling in the background. Cape turtle dove, woodlands kingfisher. It's an interesting bird calling that I'm not sure what it is. That one. Have to do a bit of research on that one. Strange call. There's Egyptian geese in the water. It's tricky to see. I think it is. Otherwise, no obvious sign. I wish that bird would be somewhere where we could see. It's always quite frustrating when you hear a sound. You think you should know it. But you always, when you're there, if you had your binoculars, you can confirm. Now we're going to have to wait and see if it lands on one of those stumps in the foreground or something like that. Brilliant stuff to learn. Oh, terrapin on the rock. Drying off a little. It sounds like a bit of a sick chicken. Oh, the other one joining in the parking bay. All right, let's go across to some of the snapshots. The first one I thought was a lovely photograph taken by Winnow of a beautiful male lion. Amazing sunlight, looks like morning sunlight from the side. It's the perfect profile shot of what looks to be, I don't know, male lion, maybe 5 years old, maybe a bit more. He's got a, relatively speaking, small mane in comparison. For example, with that one we saw trying to chase off the impala. But his body size is fairly decent. Might be just coming into his prime. Beautiful photograph of a big male lion. This time, the snapshot taken at Cat Eye by Ursula Vesta of a European roller. So we often see the lilac-breasted roller, probably one of the most famous birds out there. But one of its cousins is the European roller. It spends the summer here in the southern part of Africa. Not quite as colorful, but beautiful nonetheless. Perfect sunlight, lovely dark sky in the background. Great shot of a European roller. And sticking with the birding theme, the wonderful photograph taken at Nkwara by Monica. Such a simple shot, but perfectly framed. Fantastic reflection of this Egyptian goose. Beautiful sunlight. I guess in general with photography, if you've got the right light, you can't go wrong with a subject, really. That was a lovely shot taken by Monica. And this next shot is just quite an interesting shot taken by Megan at Tembe. See how that giraffe's front leg has landed up over the back of the other. Be quite interesting to see how it got there and how it gets it off. It's quite an awkward animal at the best of times, but I thought that was quite an interesting snapshot taken. There's the two males. You see the bald horns. I suspect they've been having a bit of a sparring match. This fellow got confused between hitting his competitor with his neck. He's mixing it up a little with a jab. Interesting shot. And I think we'll finish off the show with this. Also quite an interesting shot. Thought it was quite beautiful with the weaver nests hanging down and the red elephant walking into the shot, taken at Tau. Wonderful photographs taken by you, the community. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. It's always a pleasure to be with you, to see what we see over the last half an hour. And thanks so much for taking the snapshots. Keep them coming. And I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow afternoon on the afternoon show in the Hide. Keep watching the cameras, take those snapshots, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day further.